And then, like I said, the cookie was the only thing that got me because it was warm. Like, it was a warm, soft cookie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now who are y'all gonna turn down warm, soft cookie in any form? I just leave it open. In any form, whatever that means to you, it's always hard to turn down warm, soft cookie, man. It just is. I don't care who you are.
You are about to experience the result of hard work and dedication from the City of Champions, Cleveland's own, 90th's finest. Self-made, hard-working entrepreneurs, unequivocally raw, no holds barred. This is Epiphany Media.
Oh, it's just so like, it's too perfect, man. It's too perfect. Fire. If y'all tuning in, man, just watch or listen to the intro just cause. You don't even gotta stay after that. Y'all gotta stay after that, man. It's just too perfect. Just listen to that show over. That's all we need y'all for. Just to hear that.
Yo, that shit was so dope. Like, I've listened to it 1,000 times. I've made the intro, but man, there's nothing like watching it before a show. Like, it's possibly the funniest thing ever, man. It's too great.
Look, like we got a professional, a voice actor. That's who you hear talking. And then you got what Emmanuel put in there is just too raw. It's too raw. It looked like we paid like at least $20,000 just for that intro.
Although Erica said she missed it. Erica, where you been? All right, I'm gonna play it. Look, just because I think it's super dope.
We need an encore. Play it one more time. Run it back.
Because that it's so good that it's so ridiculous at the same time. Like I love it all at the same time. All right, we're gonna run it back. Hold up. It's pretty damn good, though, I must say. And like I said, the cookie was the only thing that got me because it was warm. Like, it was a warm, soft cookie. You know what I'm saying? Like, now who are y'all gonna turn down warm, soft cookie in any form? I just leave it open. In any form, whatever that means to you, it's always hard to turn down warm, soft cookie, man. It just is. I don't care who you are.
You are about to experience the result of hard work and dedication from the City of Champions, Cleveland's own, 90th's finest. Self-made, hard-working entrepreneurs, unequivocally raw, no holds barred. This is Epiphany Media.
That's pretty dope.
Yourself a pat on the back for that one.
The timing of it, the book bags was in there, all our shows was like, that was dope. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Erica, what did you think? I need to know. Anybody else that's in here too? Tim, CJ was in here for a minute. What y'all think, man?
Yeah, we need some feedback. We think it's dope.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty dope, man. Look, you know what I'm saying? Like in the your mom, what? Oh man, that's pretty dope. So look, like only people from here like know, like when it say like the City of Champions, like only people from here like know that night where like the streets, it was like no violence. It was a night with no violence and the celebration and high fives and stuff, man. Imagine if coronavirus was around back then. Like, we all would have got. You know
yeah, you think you trying to tell me people not gonna come to the parade?
Man.
Nah, they coming to the parade. You couldn't even cancel the parade. People make up their own parade, like how they did when the Browns went 0-16.
Man, this is so great, man. So reviews are in, and yeah, we did good, man.
So we're glad y'all liked it, man. We're glad
that intro video is hilarious to me.
Like, cause it don't.
Without context, it's amazing, man.
Yeah, when I wrote it, you said too perfect. I was like, I don't know, man. I mean, it's raw, but I was seeing like I was seeing like it more as a big picture, but then you took it and flipped it into something else.
No, at first, until look, real talk, like until you laughed, like I was saying, like because in context, I was doing keto at the time, and I had like a cookie or whatever, or I started eating a cookie and I spit it out or something, and I'm like, oh, the cookie got me because of this, and this, like, and then when you laugh, I thought about what I said, and now we on the page. Erica said, I like that shirt too. Yeah, man, just something I threw together. If you know anybody that got this catchphrase,
I'm sorry.
I might order some money. That's funny. But hey, so welcome to another show. I know we did intros earlier, but we had to run it back one more time because that's so sweet, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm
I
Byron.
like to do my own.
We'll never introduce ourselves. So if somebody listens to the first time, they're like, "Who is who?"
That's true.
But I'm Byron. Ain't nothing special, huh?
They say I'm Byron. I'm
I wanted to say our old Epiphany radio names, but
that feels good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm just gonna go by Byron today. Like if I'm in my what was my name? I forgot. Mr. Jones. Yeah. If I was in my Mr. Jones mood, then I bring it back. But today it's a Byron episode.
Byron type. I'm just gonna go by E, even though I spelled my name out today. So Tim said, he said, "What's the topic? I'm ready to rock." All right, man. So look, I don't know. Look, I want to be super respectful. You know what I'm saying? Like we never talk about our topics. We like beforehand. Like we just say what we want to talk about or whatever, but we never like go through talking points or anything like that before the show because like we want it to be organic and respond stuff organically. When you guys make comments and stuff, we want to be able to like react to it for the first time where everything's not like scripted. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what make our show and platform so dope. So I'm starting off by saying I want to be as respectful as possible as we go through, I guess, these topics, these subjects or whatever. So something that stood out to me, I watched the show last week. If you haven't watched our financial show last week, definitely go back and watch it. But so at the beginning of it, you had said something. You said that you're like, man, it's been a long week, right? And so I'm thinking, man, a long week. I'm like, what happened? Like Chadwick Boseman died. Like we talked about that for a second. But I have forgot that in that week, right? You know what I'm saying? Like the dude had got the dude had got shot like in the back or whatever, and they had all the riots and stuff. Like, was that all in the same week?
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was. You can probably say it was within 7 days. I don't think it was all in the same week.
Cause I thought that's what you was talking about after, like when I went back and watched it. But it all run together. Like I feel like that was longer. I was trying to think of like what else happened. Like what else could you have been talking about when you said that it was a long week? You know what I'm saying? Real picture up, dog.
Man, just keep talking. I can hear you. I can hear everything that you say.
Get it together then. I'm going to have to take the whole screen.
No, I'm doing something. I was doing something.
So I'm talking to you. Like, it's for you to respond. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, like what else could you have been talking about? We said it was a long week.
Yeah, no, I answered that. Then you said, where did I go? But
I feel like that just happened. Like the kid. Well, I'm sorry, not the dude getting shot in the back, but the kid shooting the people at the protests or the riots, whatever you want to call them. Like I think that happened within the 7 days of last week's show. And then with the police here, like the one officer and informant getting shot, and then another police officer like committing suicide and stuff. Like, so now it's been a long week. Like, is what I'm saying. Like you said that last week, but I feel like this has been a long week. Erica said it's been a long 2020. I seen somebody else had spelled it out like that, and somebody's like, I never seen a year called by their government name, like 2020.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. So your mom said just life made it a long week. Murray said we need to keep notes. That's just how fast, like, because we usually react to stuff every 7 days. Like we ever to build a show off of what happened, but when we have a guest on the stuff, we try not to make it doom and gloom. You know what I'm saying? Before we have a guest come on, so
we trying to work our way up to that.
Yeah, right. But so I don't know. Like I just want to talk about what's going on in the country, man, and try not to make it a political thing because that's reserved for Wednesdays. You know what I'm saying? But like, go ahead.
Yeah, it is reserved for Wednesdays, but Miss Murray, sometimes we do take notes, but I'll probably say our show is 95% improv. But it depends if we have certain things we want to touch on. I'll probably take a couple of notes, but it's probably 95% improv. Sometimes 100% put on the show. We can't think of nothing to talk about. We just come on and make a show. Professionals.
Erica said she took mental notes last week. That's great. Hopefully you're talking in regards to our show. I ain't gonna lie. I took notes with that show.
Of course, 15%. Just take 15% out of every paycheck.
Man,
and next thing you know, you were like, "Yeah, that's a
lot of money,
amount.
Man.
That's a good amount."
Yeah. Some of the stuff he was just plugging away was just pretty good.
Like stuff that you wouldn't even think about. Saving money, making smart investments. People always talk about stocks. Stocks aren't really a smart investment. You just get lucky, like as Warren Buffett say. Like, he ain't lying when he say he got lucky.
For sure. Let me see. Tim said this year sucks ass, period. Tim, you ain't lying, man. From the very beginning. Then he said, I gotta wear a mask to buy cigarettes. It's redundant. It's 2020's been a year for sure. Like I've never experienced anything like this, honestly. Ms. Murray said, y'all was talking about, nah, you missed the show. That was 2 weeks ago. Where you been at? See, you gotta say.
Oh, she missed the classic.
You gotta say no. We had a financial advisor on last week. So yeah, man. So I just want to talk about because we haven't touched on the white kid at all. We haven't talked about clearly the police. Here in Cleveland, that stuff just happened. So of course we haven't talked about it yet. But so let's backtrack then. Let's. How do you feel about the kid then, like the white kid from Illinois going to Milwaukee and shooting people?
All right. Well, let's start with that the reason that they were there were to protect businesses. Now, I don't agree with people, wanting to kill people to protect the business. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the business is being robbed. People are at gunpoint. There's literally no one there, but you want to shoot people who may or may not have weapons. Some people have weapons, but we're about to get to that part. But initially, you bring ARs to people who are looting and protesting. What is that gonna solve? So first you bring ARs. Okay, cool. So the first person he shot, I don't. He was seeing it. The first person he shot, he was seeing in the video talking about, I'll kill you, this and that. I don't know if he had a weapon or not, but I don't. If he had a weapon, I can understand. But first of all, you shouldn't have even been there in the first place. Inciting protesters and looters and rioters or whatever. Secondly, when he was running, those people was trying to catch him, and they tackled him, and the one guy hit him with a skateboard, and the other guy hit had a gun, that he shot in the arm. I mean, I can't really, somebody attacking you, put a little self-defense on, but he going to jail though. I know that. I don't know how long. You already know they might be soft on him. He might get like 10 years.
You think he's going to jail?
He might go for like 10 years. But then at the same time, he a juvenile, and I don't think they charging him as an adult, which is crazy.
So Angel brought up a point that I think is important, is that I don't know. I'm assuming this law is pretty much the same around the country. But he said he did, like the first guy he shot, he did shoot him in the back, like, you know what I'm saying, or in the back of the head or whatever. He shot him from behind, like the dude wasn't facing him or whatever. Yeah. So, like that alone, like, you know what I'm saying, and you antagonizing people with a weapon, like, what do you think is going to happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, you think that. So look, when you take firearm classes, and I don't care if it's CCW, like one of the things that they tell you is that because you took this class, because you took the steps to get your licenses, when something happened legally, you're going to be held more responsible than a person that didn't take this class, because you're supposed to know better. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. You actually took the class, you're supposed to know the laws and stuff. So if this kid had a gun, whether he's supposed to have it or not legally, because he's not, of course, he's 17, but you're supposed to know that, like, you shoot somebody in the back, like, that's murder. Like, you killed that person. Like, that's not self-defense anymore. It's just like when you're driving. If you drive in your car and you rear end somebody, right? I don't care if they stop short. I don't care if they swerve out in front of you. Whatever the case is, like, you're going to be found at fault, because that's the law. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the law. So with the first person that he shot, like, he should go to jail for a long time with that. Now, I would agree with you as far as the self-defense, as far as when people chasing them, hitting them with skateboards and stuff. But you just murdered somebody. You know what I'm saying? You just murdered somebody and ran. So what are we supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking you, like, the question, but, like, what would you, like, if you seen somebody murder somebody, I'm not saying you run up and attack them, but, like, for you to follow to make sure that person is arrested or whatever the case is, I think that would make sense. If that had been me, there's no way I'm getting that close to a dude with an AR-15. You know what I'm saying? With a rifle, not a chance. So I feel like that was stupid on the guy that died, or the guy that lost his arm or whatever. So that's just not smart. But you definitely want to point out when somebody murders somebody, you know what I'm saying, and then run away. And that's another thing where, like, he murdered, like, when he killed the first guy, he ran away saying, like, oh, I just killed somebody. Not saying he was glorifying it, but he said, like, so he knew what he did and he left the scene. Like, you know what I'm saying? When it's self-defense, you stay there and you say, I was attacked, like, you know what I'm saying, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah.
But he was outnumbered. So I give him the benefit of the doubt. He just know he was on some bullshit, so he had to run. But like you said, I'm not running up on somebody with a rifle at all. Dude with the skateboard, he would have been better off trying to grab the rifle and try to control it instead of hitting dude with, just swinging with a dude got a rifle. But dude had a sling on, so it wouldn't have mattered. But he would have, nobody would have got shot, So, but he's going to jail. I don't. That's a complicated case, If he got a good lawyer, he might come home, like 10 to 20 years, but yeah, he's not getting off scot clean though.
Even with a good lawyer and not justifying the two shootings, like the guy that lost his arm and the second guy that got killed. Like how you defend that first one? Like that's gonna be tough, man. Hold on, let me see the comments stacking up. Let me jump in there real quick. Ms. Murray said a thug carrying a gun to a protest with the sole intent of shooting and killing someone. Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like to me. Tim said, when you spend your life building a business, I understand defending it if people are going to destroy your dreams, but this may be a bit different. Tim, I agree with you. And so first off, that's why you have insurance, right? That's why insurance is mandatory if you're paying a mortgage on a house, or rental insurance if you have an apartment or whatever. Like that's why you have insurance. So I'm not saying that you should just let anybody do anything and not protect your property just because you have insurance. But it's also different. Like and Tim, this would be different too. Like if the owner of the store was there, sitting in there with a gun or something, and somebody broke in his window, like coming into the store, I think that would be a different story too. But like all the intangibles of the story is that this kid is 17. He's from a different state. You know what I'm saying? With a rifle. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a bunch of stuff that mount up to not adding up for him.
Yeah. So not only did he, have a rifle in a state that he shouldn't have had it in illegally because of his age, he committed a felony, which said rifle, which adds on to the charges. So.
And he crossed state lines. Like they got to get him for that too.
Right. For the people that yell, Blue Lives Matter, this and that. Let the police do their job. Don't be trying to, don't be trying to do the police job. Let the police do what they trying to do. But at the same time, you got the police encouraging this behavior, which is on a whole nother conversation. So
Angel said something that I forgot to read in her comment earlier. She said he shot him in the back. No, they did not call it white on white crime. Yeah, because it's not a thing. White on white crime is not a thing. Just like black on black crime is not a thing. It's not a real thing. It's not.
For those who don't know, we are. You should know that term was coined to strike fear and people, especially to strike. Make it seem like black people are savages when we aren't. So. That's a whole nother.
That is a whole nother show. You're right. Ms. Murray said a so-called Christian group raised $327,000 for his defense.
Yeah, of course. I already knew that's happening.
And that's another. We can kind of talk about that in a minute. These so-called Christian groups, as he put it, I don't understand. I don't understand anything that they do. But we can talk about that in a second.
Did you see him? Did you see the video of him beating up, a teenage girl?
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, I did.
So
I don't know how old he was in that video, but he looked just like the same person, as in like around the same age. So he might have been 17, like when that happened, just as well as killing somebody. Angel said, "Want to act like an adult, get tried like an adult." This is where he said, "You can't get a life back, but you can rebuild a business." That's 100%, 100,000% the truth.
Yeah.
Like it's a bit. Like look, yeah, you worked hard for it, but you can, you can do it again. Your insurance will help you, or whatever the case is. Like I get it. You don't want to see your dream destroyed, but to kill, even when they had the stuff here. Down on West 6, and I can't remember which one of the places or whatever, but it was like the owner and family was in there, pleading don't break our stuff. Like, they had guns or whatever, but that's still completely different than some random guy saying we're protecting businesses.
Yeah. Out to shoot that, like that. It seemed like they were out to shoot people but you just in there in
Right.
your business. You know what I'm saying? While you working,
Right.
hey, because that was before the riot and the loot was going on everywhere. Cleveland was kind of early with it, so people weren't expecting that to happen. They were still working downtown like it was a normal day.
I know. I got the call like, "Don't come to work tomorrow." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." Ms. Murray said, "I think he should be tried as an adult, and his mom should be tried too." That is another layer to this because this mom is insane,
Yeah,
insane.
accomplice. Yeah.
Ms. Murray said the person with the skateboard was actually defending himself and others. That is also a way to look at it. I still would not run up on somebody that has a gun drawn already.
Don't draw a gun, or don't run up with a skateboard.
Definitely, yeah, it's definitely a rule. You're right though. I agree. Like as a self defender, as a concealed carrier, like one of the things that you are permitted, like one of the rules or whatever is like you are capable of defending life when that life can't defend themselves. So if you seen some guy shoot a guy or a girl or whatever the case is, and then he's walking down the street pointing the gun at people, legally you can shoot that person. Like you can shoot that guy because you just watched what he did, and he's also looking for other life to potentially kill. So, like you know, what I'm saying, by the law, per the law, the guy. I don't know if the guy with the skateboard was the guy with the gun or not, but you probably want to shoot that dude if you feel like he's that big of a threat. And if you are going to be defending people where somebody with a rifle, you probably want to shoot that person.
Yeah, the dude with the skateboard, he got shot in the chest, and then he went down. And then the second dude that came in with the Glock in his hand got shot in the arm. Now, if you seen the guy before you get shot and you got a gun in your hand, why would you still run up that close? And number two, you gotta something to diffuse the situation. If you feel as though this dude is terrorizing people, he could have, he could have, shot. But it's crazy. But he said he regretted not, shooting the dude. But not everybody trying to, be a terrorist. So
I agree. And, like I think it's like I don't think that's the easy thing to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much you go to the gun range and shoot at paper targets or whatever the case is. Like shooting a person, I feel like that's a completely different thing. But
yeah,
like everything is different about it. So I agree with that. I agree that the guy might not have wanted to kill. Like you know what I'm saying? Like how would he feel about that? But so I understand. Ms. Murray said he was outnumbered before he shot the first person. Like that's true. That's a very good point. You know what I'm saying? Like as a militia, it was under 10 of them, and you think of how many people were out protesting. Yeah, he was outnumbered like the entire night. You know what I'm saying? But for him to use that, I don't think that's a good excuse.
okay, so you chose to go down there. That's like somebody you know that you into it with somebody, but you still chose to confront them about it, and
right.
knowing that y'all would get into it, and then you went down there armed, so you was already prepared for that interaction.
Right. You didn't go down there like what was it? A little while ago, like the moms or whatever. They went down there, older women. Like, of course, they didn't have guns on them or whatever, but just like out protesting. You know what I'm saying? And got like trampled by the police or whatever. But that's also another story, another layer to it. But yeah, you wasn't going down there clearly with the intent of just having your voice heard. You know what I'm saying? Like you went down there armed. You crossed state lines armed. You know what I'm saying, to defend property that's not yours. Like, what do you talk like? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there's no law in the books that allows you to defend property. It doesn't allow
Zero.
you. I mean, let me clarify there. There's no law in the books that allows you to kill someone to protect your property. None. No law. There's you got your Castle Doctrine. for when you're inside of your car or inside of your house. Somebody could be on your lawn. You can't go out there and shoot them, because you think he's a threat to your house. No, they got to actually come into your house for there to be a perceived threat.
Yeah, so I just don't. So Ms. Murray said the case wouldn't be complicated if he was black. I agree with that 100,000%. Because would have been in jail
already. AR-15 or assault rifle.
Man, he would have been labeled Black Lives Matter leader, like all of that stuff. Like he would have been labeled all the things in the book, and he would have been in jail by now, like already. Your mom said, do not want this. I don't want this. However, what? Hold on. I do not want to say this. I think she's saying, however, white, young, privilege. He's claiming self-defense. Yeah. I mean, it's white privilege. To be given the benefit of the doubt is white privilege. Like that alone is the privilege of being fair skinned. You know what I'm saying? Because if he wasn't, he could have been a college graduate, and this is his first mistake he ever made in his life. Yeah. And they would have had him on. They would have had him on screen, sagging with a grill in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Like they would have found a way to condemn him before anything happened. Like so, him getting the benefit of the doubt, him being taken alive, just like countless other white shooters, white terrorists around the country been taken alive. The Dylan Roof thing, a nigga shooting up churches and colleges, and they taking all these in movie theater, and they taking all these people alive. Like, so that alone is the white privilege. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't hate to say it because it's true. Like that alone is the white privilege, and you're absolutely right.
Hey, just check out that video about the guy who was practicing open carry with the AR-15, and the cops came up to him. He said, I'm practicing my constitutional rights, et cetera, et cetera. Black dude did the same thing. They pull up on him. The guns blazing.
You're on the ground. Yeah. Man, dude sat on that ground for, if it's the same what I'm thinking, man, that cop had that dude on the ground, face down, like palms down on the ground for like 7 minutes until backup came. Now, the white dude walked down the same exact street and nothing happened. Same gun, same street, nothing happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, man. Ms. Murray said, I saw...
And it's not a crime. It's not a crime at all. When you see me doing that stupid shit, hell no. But it's not a crime. So
yeah, and the guy wasn't like he was just walking down the street, man. Like the cop didn't even come up and like, well, let me investigate. Let me find out some information. Like, no, he was like, man, get your ass on the ground, man. Put your palms on the ground, like you know what I'm saying. Put your palms on the ground, and don't move. You know what I'm saying. Like he was on the ground for like 7 minutes, man, until backup came. Yeah. All for doing nothing, all for walking down the street with a gun. It's crazy. So Ms. Murray said, I saw a man at one of those protests shooting people with a bow and arrow, and the guy with a skateboard knocked him down, and they were able to take his bow and arrow. Dude, so I seen that too. The dude did a thing like, they just attacked me, and I was down here peacefully, this and that. And then like somebody had footage of them shooting bow and arrows at people. Like, but what was what happened to him though? Like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like what was the consequence for lying? Nothing. It's killing me. It's killing me. Ms. Murray said, when President Obama was elected, we saw long lines at the gun store. We knew it was going to be some shootings. Yeah, but it wasn't even. It wasn't even that big.
Every election.
So, well, that's true. But people really thought that Barack was going to take guns and stuff. Like this black guy, black people are going to be doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, black people are going to be feeling entitled, so we got to arm up and stuff.
Obama, but even that was from the hood.
Yeah, right. Even with that though, like nothing ever like. So yeah, we had a spike in school shootings. You know what I'm saying? White people. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we ain't have like Chicago and all these places had their issues too for sure. but it wasn't no spiking like mass shootings. You know what I'm saying? Like where it's just like people going around besides schools, of course. But besides that, like it wasn't like people was you know what I'm saying, going to be armed because they just want to have a shootout or whatever. And we ain't had nothing like we had even and you know, and that wasn't that long ago. You know what I'm saying? We're talking 10 years ago or so, but it wasn't like the internet, what it is today, and how much access people have on the phones today is nothing like when Barack was in office. You know what I'm saying? So, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, see, if I remember correctly, that ban that Joe Biden was a part of was lifted on the assault weapons or assault weapons, whatever whatever they call them. That ban was lifted, so that's what people was going out to buy them. But nigga, this time it was because niggas thought the world was gonna come to an end, and niggas predicted that a lot of people, it was gonna be a lot of crime because a lot of people wasn't gonna have jobs, et cetera, et cetera. But then I think the surge was also increased with Joe Biden, but then especially after he added Kamala Harris to his on his vice president ticket. When he did that, it was you got the gun grabbers extraordinaires. So people really went crazy.
That ban, by the way, was lifted in George Bush's term as president. It was put on by Clinton in the early 90s, and it was took off by George Bush in the early 2000s.
Well, I was wrong. That's the second time, man. Yeah, second time in 2 years. Hey,
trust me.
Yeah, but that nigga Biden, he was part of it though.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure. So Ashley joined us. Ashley, what's up? Thanks for joining us. You missed our intro. Ask your sister about it. It's pretty damn dope.
Yes, it is.
Ms. Murray said they bought those guns to shoot them. She said it's going to be more of this thug is not dealt with proper. It's going to be more of this if this thug is not dealt with properly. So this is what I want to get back to. Yeah. Y'all think this is about to be y'all think this is the guy that's gonna be convicted? Like this is gonna be the big fair is fair rally cry?
You talking about Joe Biden?
No. I mean like this. All right, so what Black Lives Matter, what we've been talking about the whole time is like people getting arrested, but they're not being convicted, they're not being found guilty, they're not serving jail time. Y'all think that this white kid, the 17-year-old white guy, is going to be convicted properly and going to serve the time that he's supposed to serve for his actions? Not a chance.
He'll serve time, but the appropriate time? Nah. Because they gonna somehow argue, especially with the dude that got shot in his arm, that attempted murder charge, and made that's probably gonna be thrown out though. But the other two murders, it might. Come on, you killed two people, they give you 10 years.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, they about to pull out all the stops, man. They about to pull out that he's a minor. Dude, this dude took a gun, him and his mom took a gun to a different state where her son murdered two people and almost and permanently made another person disabled. You had a 13-year-old or 12-year-old kid that was practicing wrestling moves, wrestling like we all did.
Charged him as an adult.
They charged him as an adult. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this white dude knowingly took a gun to a different state and killed people. And even with that, ain't no effing way. I'm gonna be on my best behavior. No effing way that they about to charge this dude as an adult and give him the time that he's supposed to be given.
Exactly.
Not a chance.
Like at 12 years old, you know that wrestling isn't real per se, but you don't know. Yeah, but you don't know how the moves are done. You know what I'm saying? If you see the Undertaker do the tombstone, you really think he dropping the nigga on the top of his head. You know, you don't know that he holding them and he not really, man, they don't. How are you supposed to understand that? So you try to tell me you get his man life. Of course he did something. I mean, this boy life. Of course he did something horrible, and his little brother died from it, or little cousin, I can't remember. But life though, man, come on, man.
Man, look. You know how many dude we used to.
Wait, hold on. But then you have somebody who, wanted to be a police officer, right? Which is cool. That's what he wanted to do. But he was also trained on how to use the firearms. Knowing that knowledge, you being trained with firearms, knowing that a firearm is used to essentially kill someone, right? A bullet has a high possibility of killing somebody. So he knows this, right? So he goes somewhere where he shouldn't have been with something that can kill somebody, with people who are opposed to what he's on. So, man, I swear,
Dude,
man.
You can't tell. Look, at 12. At 12. So let me see. So what's the age for like elementary school? It's like 5 when you're in like kindergarten or whatever, and so like 10 or 11 when you're in to like 5th grade or whatever. Like I don't really know how to
something like that. Yeah,
I remember being in elementary school. So let's say I'm 10 or 11. I was doing this on 90th, so I had to be like 10, like 9, 10, or 11. I was still at the point where I'm cutting up. I'm going to the corner store to get cardboard boxes so I can make my championship belt. You know what I'm saying? So I can wrestle at school. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was to hurt somebody, like seriously hurt somebody, while I'm cutting up cardboard boxes for championship belts, and they charge me as an adult. Like, do you understand? Like that is the system in a nutshell. Like that. That's the system personified, man. Those two things right there is the system personified. Like I
come on.
But
at 12 years old, nigga, The Rock, like nobody can say shit to me about The Rock. Stone Cold.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Undertaker. Nigga, all them motherfuckers. Man, nobody can say shit. Come on.
That's what I'm saying, man. Erica said that the mom needed to be charged too because she drove him there. Ms. Murray said at 17 you can be charged as an adult. This country has executed a 14-year-old boy, a 14-year-old black boy. Make it specific.
For something he ain't even do.
Nigga, that like.
Come on, man.
Look, man. Like sometimes all you can do is shake your head, man, because like we have so many examples of the system, the judicial system being like so unjust and so lopsided that it's not it's kind of unbearable, man. Like it's kind of unbearable the stuff that they let certain people get away with. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this, like, how could you get this kid nothing less than life, and his mom got to get at least 5 to 10 minimum for driving and authorizing?
You got people that's lives that have been ruined just because a young lady that said that she been raped, kind of found out it didn't happen, but then you have evidence of another young guy who raped a girl. He actually did it, but the judge say, this is going to ruin his life. Man.
Yeah. I remember. Look. Like this is how like crazy everything is. And I swear, I kind of try. I'm not gonna lie. I don't try to stay away from it, but I try to stay away from talking about it because it gets me so frustrated. So you have stuff like I want to say her name is Amber Geyer, right? She was a cop that went into somebody else's apartment and shot a guy in his own apartment because she thought it was her apartment or something. I think her name was Amber Geyer or something like that, right? So she go through her sentencing. She had a black judge. The judge give her, I want to say 10 years, right? Which is still on the low side of what she could have been charged by going into somebody else's apartment, being a police officer, and shooting somebody that's just sleeping or whatever in their own apartment.
She wasn't even at work though.
That's what I'm saying, right? So the judge gave her 10 years, and there was a black lady judge, and she came from, like, after the sentencing, she came from behind the whatever the fuck the judge sit behind, I don't know, the desk, whatever it's called. Came from behind there and like hugged the girl. The black lady judge, I'm gonna keep specifying, gave her like a personal Bible of her to take the jail with her or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like asking for forgiveness and all this stuff. And it was a story about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, that she's now, even though that 10 years is pretty lenient, and she got all this sympathy and black people doing what black people do and being forgiven and all this stuff, she filed an appeal to get less time, like which is what you're supposed to do. But when you go through all of this, this sympathy, and she cut you a deal by only giving you 10 years or 9 years, whatever the number is, and you want less time. Like you waited for it to die down so you can request less time. When you went into somebody else's apartment and killed them.
Yeah.
Like did that.
Yeah. Like her defense couldn't even prove that his door was open. They couldn't prove that his door was open, which means I truly believe he came to the door. Check the comments, man. I'll be right back.
It's killing me, man. I be trying to tell y'all. I swear I do. Mine. So you said it's because of the color of our skin. When will it shiggity end? I don't know. I can't say, man. I can't say. I seen a post by Martin Luther King Jr., like one of his daughters or something. I don't know how many daughters he has, but his daughter, and she said like her example was like, because people say like, if you just follow the rules, if you just don't break the law, you follow the orders that's given. Saying if you was just more respectable, like if you just didn't sag your pants, or you just wasn't in bad areas or whatever. When one, we live in bad areas, so how are we not going to be in those bad areas? That's one. 2, Martin Luther King wore a suit every day. Every picture, everything that I have ever seen of Martin Luther King Jr., he's been in a suit. And they killed that nigga. Like they shot and killed Martin Luther King. Like he wasn't sagging. Like he wasn't doing illegal stuff. He wasn't where he wasn't supposed to be, and they still shot him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so her message or whatever is like it doesn't matter. Like when your crime is your skin tone, your skin color, then it doesn't, like nothing else matters. Like until it becomes not illegal to be black or dark complected, it doesn't matter. Like none of this matters, man. It's frustrating.
Very frustrating, because I'm sure you have been through it. I've been through it when you're not even doing anything.
Nothing.
But you be treated like you. Hey, remember that time we went up to the park, we was playing basketball, but you had to have a pass just to play on a public basketball court, and you had to have a license to ride a bike, which is crazy. But they waited until we went in there, and it was only, if you really think about it, it was only me and the other dude that was playing against each other. Yeah, and they waited. Well, actually, they watched the whole game, and then they waited for y'all to come inside the cage. Then they pulled up and blocked off the entrance to the cage.
when you sitting there, all you have to say is, "Do y'all got ID to be here?" Because it's the new rule. And notice, so let me give you a backstory. Like this is like a park in Cleveland Heights. My grandparents moved to Cleveland Heights in the 60s or something like that, like way early, maybe the 70s. I don't know, like a long time ago. They were like in the first couple 5 or 10 of black families in Cleveland Heights. I've been playing at this park my entire life. You know what I'm saying? Like before they renovated, after they renovated, I didn't been on the sled there 1,000 million times. I didn't play basketball at those courts 1,000 million times. Like it's a park I grew up playing at. And all of a sudden they gotta, but I don't live in Cleveland Heights, so I don't know the rules or whatever. But all of a sudden you need ID, which is cool. So, but instead of saying, hey, it's a new thing, y'all gotta have ID to be here, or whatever the case is, like you sit back and wait and like why would you do that? Like how what is that protecting and serving? Like what are you doing? Like that's just been an a-hole. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just something that you personally choosing to do. Like that's not a rule. Like that you can't tell people, you can't give people a heads up. Like they really took our information. Like we really had to go to the police and stuff.
Wasn't even a sign or anything that said you gotta have first of all, like I never even heard of that before that day. Anywhere I've ever played basketball, that you need to play basketball at a public court outside on the playground, you need a pass, So, but we played a whole game of 1-on-1 before she decided to pull up. But then at the same time, it wasn't like we were committing a real crime. You know what I'm saying? A real crime. But our parents still had to go to the
police station. We really had to go and sit and talk with like a captain or something, or like you know what I'm saying. Like we really had like,
and all we was doing was hoping. Oh man!
Look, I should have known it was someone that dude. Like I said, these 15-foot gates. I should have known it was something when that dude started climbing that fence. I looked like, why is this, like, the door is here? Why is that nigga climbing the fence like that?
Right.
Oh, he's the smart one while everybody else is standing here. That's so crazy, man. Ms. Murray said somebody needed to slap the shit out of that judge. I agree. I want to talk about black people in well, not black people in Christianity, but Christianity and all this stuff, and all these groups and stuff. Let me catch up in the comments though. She said, I read the comments on Facebook where racist white people quote Martin Luther King and be thinking of y'all love him now, but y'all shot and killed him too. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to say don't quote him and stuff now, but y'all killed that nigga. Like, y'all killed him in a suit, you know what I'm saying? Where he wasn't committing a crime, like, y'all still killed him. And he was talking peaceful this, peaceful that, and y'all killed him. She says they loving on Colin Kaepernick now for his powerful protest, but it only happened after they tried to destroy him. That's absolutely right. NFL.
She mean the different sports leagues.
Well, yeah, like in the NFL, Roger Goodell, like, oh, I want to apologize to Colin for not listening or not understanding whatever the fuck he said, man.
Nah,
I hate it, man. Like, I hate it.
We see what's gonna happen with NFL this year, man. See if they're gonna show people kneeling on TV because it's gonna happen. That's where it started at. So it's gonna happen. But are they gonna show it on TV and be like, and try to act like they wasn't talking down on it before? Or are they gonna show it on TV? Man, I got so many because the NBA said all they really said is you can't kneel. That's all they really said. But the players are still speaking out. the NFL, they said even if you speak out, we finding you this and that. Players were scared to lose their job, which is understandable, but I don't know. Shit weird. I don't even like. I'm glad the players, said they wasn't gonna play for them like 3 days. So I said, "Fuck this."
Let me see. Missouri said, "I've been kicked out of Kane Park and Cumberland Park for not having ID." So yeah, Kane Park was what we was talking about. Like Kane Park is maybe 3 minutes from where my grandparents' house was, and like I said, they moved there in the early 70s, maybe the 60s, like maybe like 74. Like Cleveland Heights was still all white. Like my aunt and stuff went to the high school when it was still like all white people. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's so frustrating. Like I don't know if it's frustrating because kind of like politics, right? For me, like it's frustrating to me because I don't know if it's more frustrating because it is just flat out unjust, or if it's more like incendiary to me because I don't have like an answer, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you go from not that it's funny, man, but you go to somebody saying protect yourself by any means necessary. They're like, hey, he's first. Get him out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Anybody talking about doing anything in retaliation? No, he has to go first, right? So then, and everybody's talking about how violent Malcolm X was, and he wasn't violent. He was just saying defend yourself, which is what white people preach, which is what people that fight for the Second Amendment preach. They preach all that self-defense and self-preservation and preserve your family. But when black people start doing it, when Black Panthers start doing it, they're like, wait a minute. That's not what we're saying.
Yeah, because just think about it. It's a big enough organization that have influence and power, and if you get the whole race of black people on the same page, nigga, it's gonna be detrimental to the American economy, livelihood, everything. So of course he had to go. Of course he had to go.
I just like, man. So when you say somebody like Malcolm X, who's quoting violence or encouraging the violence, you get him out of here. You get Martin Luther King, who is preaching peace. Like he got to go too. Then you get somebody like Fred Hampton, who's just preaching unity. Like he's just saying it ain't no white and black. This don't have nothing to do with being a Christian or a Muslim. Like Martin Luther King was using like Christianity into like his message, and Malcolm X was doing the same thing. But Fred Hampton was just like, I don't care. Like I don't care. All I want you to do is be educated and to know who the enemy is. Like you got the suppressors, you know what I'm saying? Like the people that's trying to keep you down, and you got the people that's trying to uprise. You got the revolutionaries. Mm-hmm. That's it. And they're like, we got to get him out of here too. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody got to go. You know what I'm saying? So
you view it as a tyrant against the American government, essentially.
It's just so insane.
Like any type of movement, any type of change like that. But the crazy part is they were talking about change for equal rights.
Yeah, like equal. So crazy. As Murray said, people who hate Black Lives Matter have nothing to say about the Ku Klux Klan. I agree with you. Every time I see a comment like that on social media, that's all my thing. That's the only thing I say for all of them. They're like, Black Lives Matter should be listed as a terrorist organization. I'm like, okay. And the Ku Klux Klan has been around for centuries longer. Nothing about that. Nothing to say about the Klan.
Yeah, but you already know why. Because they know people that some of their cousins and that shit. So
yeah, that's right.
Hey, but this is Jay-Z had a great point when he said, damn, what the fuck? What he say? Y'all killed. Did he say y'all killed Nipsey, but y'all let Zimmerman live? Wasn't that the line? Something like that, right?
Yep.
So that got me thinking. Okay, you got the ops. You got your ops. You shoot at these niggas all every day. Why can't y'all? I'm not promoting violence, but I'm just saying, why can't y'all use that same energy if y'all wanted to?
To do what though?
I mean, you catch my drift. If you want it.
No, I'm saying,
if you got people from the KKK doing rallies in your city, why can't you slide on them? Just question that.
I agree.
I'm just saying throughout history, though,
I agree, and I want to read these 2 comments or 3 comments, and then the last comment we're going to transition to something kind of like religion and black people and kind of how it goes together. But Angel said, I feel like it's deeper than that, though. I don't understand black people who don't support Black Lives Matter. The world is just so divided. All right, so when I say, look, I don't know anything about the organization Black Lives Matter. I really don't. Like, I don't know who the leaders are. I don't know what their mission statement is. I don't know, right? But just because you say the phrase Black Lives Matter, people automatically assume that you're talking about the organization. And I'm talking about the black lives that I know. Like, I'm just talking about the literal black lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, so people need to understand that there is a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
not all black lives. Not black lives are better than any other race life.
Equal.
We're just saying equal, but it's hard for.
That they matter, man.
It will always be like this, but like it'll always have its tension forever, I believe.
Angel said the world is just so divided. I agree with that. I think that I mean, clearly, because I'm not a dig at you, but like clearly it's a white people made it this way. Like, this is the world that they created. And like, for example, white people be quick to be like, oh, why you always make it about race? Like, why you always make it a race thing? Like, you and your ancestors made everything a race thing. Like, you made it about race. Yeah. So now when I say it's because of a race, it's a race issue. Now I'm on your bad side or whatever. Like, now I'm the problem because I'm bringing up race to everything. You made it. You, as in your people, made it about race. Like, you made everything about race. You made separate but equal about race. You made slavery about race. You made Jim Crow laws about race. Like, you made it about that.
The Civil War. Did that. The Civil War was really essentially about, Abraham Lincoln wanted to free the slaves. So they went to war. Like, no, we want to keep it. We want to keep how America is great right now. We want to keep it like that. The North said no. We need to. We ain't trying to do that. So they went to war.
It's frustrating, man. Your dad said y'all 2 brothers got to stop saying. No one said nigger with the hard ER. Nobody said that.
Hey, but all right. So let's talk about that since he brought it up, because it ain't happening. So look, the word nigger, is deep, deep hurt, for a lot of people, especially a lot of older people. Right. But then when you have understanding about where the word really came from, it's like, shit, I'm saying nigga each and every day. You know what I'm saying? I could replace it for stuff like king. I could say king this, king that. But nah. Because I know I know how I'm using it, and I know the origin of it. Nah.
Sometimes I use it to make people feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, specifically, like, whatever you're trying to do, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure you have places that you go where, you know what I'm saying, people, you feel like people are trying to make you uncomfortable or trying to make you not, feel like you fit in. So I let them go. Now everybody at this table about to feel uncomfortable, and I dare you to say something to me about it with a straight face. I dare you to. So yeah, we could substitute it. It's just tough to do. Not all the time because we clean up when we need to.
Yeah, but nah, like see, you know, I know some of y'all see me talking like this on here, but in all actuality, like I forget that it's an audience that's watching this. Like I'm just talking to my friend. We just having a conversation. So nigga, I don't.
Let me see. Angel said, I'm saying never will the world be united. Some black people fight against Black Lives Matter. I don't get it. How can you dispute that? No, I'm not.
But some people don't like the organization. You know, that's a different story. You know?
Yeah, some people legitimately don't agree with whatever the organization is doing. I don't know many black people, even like the Candace Owens of the world, like who would say like Black lives don't matter. They might not agree with the organization. They might try to lump people that move similarly as all, you know, being part of the organization. But I don't know. I haven't heard it as much as I've heard black people say some super cool stuff. Like I've never heard nobody say like Black lives don't matter or anything like that. Ms. Murray said race was created by white people for sure. Erica said it's a mentality in response to Angel's comment about people fighting against Black Lives Matter. I think when people fight, I automatically assume, I will guess, when I see black people fighting against Black Lives Matter, I think they're talking about the organization. But like I said, I can't even comment to that because I don't know anything about the organization. I don't know who the leaders are, what their mission is. I've never been to the website. Like I really have no idea.
Yeah.
When I said I'm talking about the literal black lives of the people that I know and interact with.
Yeah, they say that, you know, the leaders are they said they're self-proclaimed Marxists or whatever. Is that, hopefully I'm using the correct word, but so that's somebody that try to overtake the government and, you know, put their own thing, whatever the fuck. That's why a lot of people don't agree with it because of that thing. But when it comes to saying Black Lives Matter, like you said, you know, you just talking about, you know, Black Lives Matter in general. But when other people who don't like Black Lives Matter hear this, oh, they're against police brutality, or no, they're against the police. They hate the police. So, you know, Blue Lives Matter, which, you know,
that's the funniest thing to me.
Which is, so you say Blue Lives Matter because you think that people are saying we hate the police. No, we just hate things that you keep seeing over and over and why people, you know, were looting and rioting. Well, I want to say protesting first because that's what people was protesting everywhere. And then, you know, Antifa came through, started some shit. But yeah, so that's why it happened, because of shit that you see online every day. People get shot in the back. Of course, somebody can grab a gun and turn around fast, but it just seemed like with our people, we just, you know, people think we poised to shoot a motherfucker at, you know, at all times. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Angela said, she said, no, I don't believe it's against the organization. They also follow up with All Lives Matter. But those people are crazy. Those people are nuts. And like Erica said, it's a mentality thing with them. I haven't seen it, but I'm definitely not saying that it don't happen, that it's not true or whatever. But yeah, those people are just insane. Ms. Murray said, it's a personal thing. Some black people don't believe they're black. That's also a mentality thing. The guy, man, that he was somewhere in the South. I want to say Texas or maybe South Carolina, some little small town. You got he was he was Clayton Bigsby, man. Like he was adopted by like white grandparents or whatever, like white parents.
Talking about an Atlanta show, or is this real life?
No, this is real life. I'm like the Clayton Bigsby from the Dave Chappelle. Like he really got adopted by white people, and he really was out fighting for like to keep in Confederate monuments up. Like he was marching with signs and stuff, and he's the only black person there. Like, what a weirdo.
All right, but okay, so that tells you it's in the home, right? It ain't really, it's coming from people's parents. These teachings that coming down from generation to generation.
Oh, it's taught for sure. Hate and all that stuff is definitely taught. Like, no question.
Hey, what do you think? What are you more afraid of? A closet racist or open racist? Because Trump really don't bother me like most people could just be outraged. You know what I'm saying? But it's like at least we know. You know what I'm saying? We know where his intentions lie. It could be the motherfucker that's at the restaurant cooking your food and put hair and spit in your food or some shit like that just because you black and you don't even know.
It's a good point. That's actually a very good point. Yeah, I guess I would take an open racist for sure. Erica said there are some lesbian co-founders. Ms. Murray said there are no leaders, only founders. She said they are protesting police brutality, not the police. People don't understand that. So when they say Blue Lives Matter, it's just bullshit rhetoric. Like, that's really what it is. Ms. Murray said you can actually support Black Lives Matter and the police. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. Like, I think it's really just a statement. Like, just because you say Black Lives Matter don't mean that you hate cops. Like, I don't say Blue Lives Matter, one, because it's not a thing, first off. Secondly, I don't hate cops. Like, I feel like they got some issues for sure. You know what I'm saying? Some systematic issues in every department. I was told this by a police chief myself. Before, like, you know, saying, like,
hold on, back it up. You said systematic issues.
Yeah, for sure.
Meaning that the training and the rules of everything that goes along with it is geared towards what?
It's geared towards certain biases. Like, it's written into. You could be a great person. Right, you could be a good person that goes to be a police officer for the right reasons and stuff. But the same, like, when you think long term, like, think about police officers that was keeping like I'm gonna say the Gen 6, not the Gen 6. I can't even think what they're called now. Anyway, like so when schools was first integrating, you had local police officers blocking kids from going to school.
Yeah.
Like, so you like, y'all police officers, y'all work for the town, but you keep it like that same system. And I'm not saying that activity, but that same system is in place. Like, the system hasn't changed. Like, that system haven't changed. Like, the organization haven't changed. The unions haven't changed in forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not saying that, like I said, you can be a good cop. Like, you can be a good cop, a great cop, a cop that chooses to join because you want to make a difference. The black cop that held down George Floyd's leg was a black cop whose brother was killed by police, and he joined to make a difference. And then he assisted in George Floyd, like, dying. You know what I'm saying? So you can have the best of intentions, but that don't mean that just because you do, then everything gonna come out the way that it's supposed to come out. Like, it's not how it works. Your dad said he knows where you live, man. You gotta watch your mouth. Let me go back real quick to what Ms. Murray said. So she said evangelical Christians really surprised me with their stance on what's going on in this country now.
Sure, we could talk about the racist shit that was put in the Bible for these slaves.
That's yeah, we can definitely.
So we can start. So we can start there. So it shouldn't be a surprise at all, their stance on the issue.
I guess I'm surprised at how openly Christians in general, man, just support what's going on in this country. Like, I'm really beyond, like, beside myself at the stuff that they're supporting, man. Like, I like, and not even this has nothing to do with like Black Lives Matter or none of that stuff. But we're talking about love thy neighbor, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, we talking about like the simple of the simple, right? Like the like one of the standard rules or commandments or whatever. Like, they don't, like, what is happening? Like, what is happening with these so-called Christians, man? Like, I don't get it. I left a group a day or two ago. It's a group about like it's a Facebook group called like God don't judge me yet because God not finished with me or something like that. Like, I just left that group because their last, like, whoever the moderator or whatever it is, their last 5 or 6 posts was about Trump good and Democrats bad, and what evangelists are backing Donald Trump, and this is all this crazy stuff. So first off, that's not why I joined this group. First off, secondly, I don't agree with your stance, so I'm leaving your group. You know what I'm saying? But like, what are y'all standing on right now? So let me see. So she said the KKK claim they hate Jews because Jews killed Jesus. They act like they don't know that Jesus was a Jewish man. Like, this is what I'm saying. Donald Trump did a photo op in front of a church with a Bible that wasn't his. Like, he was just holding up a Bible like it was a.
Raising his eyebrows and shit, looking stupid.
Like, it was like y'all. All right, so y'all remember Vampire in Brooklyn when he did like the sermon in front of, like, he had to do it like outside the church because they're like burning them being in the church, man. Like, that's how Donald Trump was, man. He was holding up the book like who holds Bibles like this? Like, nobody ever held a Bible like. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody ever held a Bible like this. But that's who y'all supporting. Y'all support this dude. Donald Trump is a good Christian man. They asked him, like, what's your like? You got a favorite verse in the Bible? Nah, I don't want to talk about that. That's too personal. You got a favorite book, man? No, like I said, I don't want to talk. He's at a Bible thing. Like, he's at a thing about like Christians and he like evangelists and stuff. And he's like, nah, I don't want to talk about it. It's personal, man. Talk about the Bible is personal.
And you at a church. You went there. You went there for a reason to go see the church. They ask you some church questions. You can't even get a Bible verse.
Look, I'm not saying that anybody whose favorite verse is John 3:16 is not their real favorite verse.
He could have went out that. He could have went out with that.
He couldn't even pull out John 3:16. Like, it's everybody's favorite verse. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, for people that really don't read the Bible, like, that's everybody's favorite verse, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, he couldn't even pull that out. Like, that's how I know. Like, that's just how I know that it's just not. It's not a real thing, man. Like he's not a real Christian, and the fact that these evangelists are supporting him is bewildering to me. Ms. Murray said slavery existed long before it came to America, and it wasn't the same type of slavery. That's 100% true. Mm-hmm. People talk about how African tribes sold people to the colonizers. Like, they had slavery in Africa too, yeah, but it wasn't this slavery. It wasn't you and your family gonna work for me and my family for the rest of your lives for generations and generations. Like, that wasn't the same type of slavery. The only thing they have in common is the name, and that's it. Erica said they are exposing themselves. Man, I don't like. I got a personal thing about. I'm not a big mega church person. I think we talked about this before. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I don't know. It just don't sit right with me, I guess.
Right, because it's usually non-denominational, or it's because it's a mega church. Yeah,
like, right. So these mega churches never sit right with me. When you got what what's the one guy, man? He look like a damn puppet.
Joe Osteen.
Not Joe Osteen. He looked like a doll or something. Like, but even what he did, were like not opening his church for people, like for refugees to stay in there. And I don't know the full situation, but I know he said no, and they wasn't able to use his church. When like that's one of the things that you're supposed to do. Like that's a godly thing, to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To open your house to the poor, like to the needy. But he didn't do it. But it's another dude the guy that bought the jet from Tyler Perry or whatever. I can't remember his name. But like, why are you buying $1 million private jets? Like, why? What is this about? What is this about?
Travel. He was. What was his excuse? Wasn't he drunk? He was drunk while he was doing an interview.
I don't know if he was drunk, but he's like, hey, look, he's like, man, like I don't really, like, you ran up, you kind of caught me off guard, so I don't really financial numbers. He's like, but you know, the number. He's like, the number of people that I take with me when I travel, it would inconvenience everybody else if I got on there because I would have, saying this many people coming with me. And that was his excuse that I travel with so many people that it just don't work out. Instead of him saying something like, like, nigga, like was Jesus like nigga traveling? Like was he like, I gotta get my own end to myself, like have my disciples keep everybody out because I need this place to myself? Or did he mingle with the commoners, with the poor people? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Like the fact that anybody follow these mega churches people, and don't get me wrong, some of them I don't listen to them, so their messages might be key, their teachings might be key. I really don't know. I am just like I don't. It's not my forte, so I don't really know. So if I'm speaking out of turn or whatever, definitely let me know. But I don't like it for reasons like that. Like I can't understand it when you bringing in that much money. Like, what are you doing with the money? And they might be doing stuff. They might not be deadbeats like Steve Harvey.
He got a street named out there in Cleveland, man. You can't be messing with him, man.
I never dried on it. Like, it's been a while since I mentioned it. I just want to let y'all know that the beef is still on. The beef is still on. I Steve Harvey. Anyway, Ms. Murray said people would get slaves from the spoils of war. They didn't spend their whole rest of their lives as slaves. Exactly. Even in Mexico and like the Micas, is that how you pronounce it? The Mayans, sorry. Like, yeah, you would go to war with a different tribe. You will kill whoever you got to kill, and then you take the other people hostage, and they work their way and become a member of your society, or you kill them or whatever. Say you release them or whatever the case is. But it's not like you and your children are going to be a slave to me forever. Ms. Murray said children were not born into slavery. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't, it definitely wasn't the same thing as we had here in America. But if you don't listen close, they will try to persuade you that slavery wasn't that bad because it's been around before America existed. But it's not.
You got people putting you to work against your will, and it's not bad. And then they beat you to keep you in compliance, or they killing you. Killing you to make an example out of you.
That's the thing that gets me is like we're talking about forever, man, forever. For your entire life, for your kids' entire life, for your grandkids and your great grandkids' entire life.
Mm-hmm. Then they say, "Here you go. You're gonna live in the." I'm sorry to cut you off, but you're gonna live in the poorest part of town.
Go. It pisses all this stuff pissing me off. Like when you say that, like I started thinking about like redlining and how they chop up these counties and stuff, and try to saying, I'm trying to get this. I'm gonna make this. We got counties that's already situated or whatever. But I'm gonna make this new voting area in the form of a triangle because that way I can win this area entirely because they'll vote for me. Like I'm gonna cut all the people that wouldn't vote for me out of it. I'm gonna make it unfair for everybody. I just like when I just think about all the stuff that's done, just shitty throughout history. Like it pisses me off. Like it really does, man. Like it makes it hard to. It just make it hard to do anything, man. Because like just looking at like after thinking about stuff or researching some stuff, like then you just go and interact with people. I just say that, just interact with people. You like, man, like I can't believe what y'all trying to pull. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you seen the videos have any of you guys seen the videos of the guys talking about like old fashion and stuff? He be like we ain't forgot about that. We ain't forgot about the see-through Air Force Ones. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we ain't forgot about the Jabot jeans and the micro braids and stuff. We ain't forgot about putting your name on the belt. You know what I'm saying? And then go to the digitized. Like that's what man. I just want to say, like, man, we ain't forgot. Like, I ain't forgot what y'all did to my grandparents. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't forgot that. I ain't forgot it.
Hey, that red letter really pissed me off because I'd have found out recently that, you know, these houses in the original deeds for the houses, it says that, you know, this house can never be sold to a black person, and it's still in the deed to this day. Some of these houses, man, which is crazy to me. So, like I said, you put all these people in the poor area, have them live there. Then you say, you know what, we're gonna make a whole bunch of apartment buildings, and it's gonna be a project, and let's see how that turns out.
And then you got,
see, hey, do you see why they call it the trap? Because it's a literal trap.
You know why they call a project? Because it's a project, man. It's an experiment. You know what I'm saying? It's an experiment. That's why it is. It's a project.
Hey, but like this is all facts. But it's when you tell people this, it sounds unbelievable that other human beings would do this to another race of human beings. It sounds unbelievable. It sounds fiction. Like it never could happen. It seems unreal. And then when it's brought up, the only defense people can say is that was a long time ago, which isn't even an adequate defense because nigga, it was not a long time ago.
Oh, you talking about my grandmother? You know what I'm saying? Like you talking about my grandfather? Like, you talking about people that I grew up knowing? Like you talking about people that's alive now? You know what I'm saying? Like so when I watch stuff like the Republican National Convention, I've never seen anything like this in my entire life where they have a whole thing about like be scared, be afraid. These was it MS-13 or whatever, like the Mexican gang, whatever. MS-13, they come into the suburbs to be your neighbors. Be very afraid. We're gonna keep all these criminals. We're gonna keep all these criminals out of your neighborhood. Like,
well, I think it came from there. The gang originated in El Salvador, though. But
well, whatever. I don't even mean. I'm talking about. Like, they're talking about having these troublemakers. I'm talking about us come to your suburbs. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think they mentioned MS-13 or whatever, but I'm just talking about in general, like talking about like it's a war on suburbs and we get all these people up in arms and it's absurd to me, man. Like I've never seen like somebody a political party. I've never seen any faction try to divide people as much as like Republicans right now. Like I don't think I've ever seen this in my entire life. Like nothing I can think of in history, and I love history, and even the Klan was like, we like most white people. You know what I'm saying? Like even the Klan was like, we like most white people. Like I've never seen so many people saying like, man, look, poor people coming up and poor people are trying to make it to the suburbs. Like that's not cool. Like it's not a cool thing to upgrade, to level up, to do better in life. Like that's not a cool thing. Like I don't think I've ever seen a political party just try to be openly divisive, like in my life. Like whatever happened behind the scenes, like I don't know, I can't speak on it, but I've never seen this, man. Where you just openly tell people stuff like poor people are coming to attack or coming to take your house from. They're coming to invade your neighborhoods, is what they said.
See,
Nothing like.
Oh goodness, it was me. But I mean, it may sound, it may seem outrageous, but this is how people really think. So they're targeting a certain individuals to vote for. To vote for them. But people really think like this. There's been plenty of instances where, a black couple moved to their neighborhood, and they get a swastika, spray painted on their garage. You don't belong here, nigger. This and all that. Like this is how people really think. They think they really think all black people are thugs and criminals and all this crazy shit. And I swear, like 98%, 98%, we not on none of that, but
Man, in the middle of the playoffs, LeBron James had the word nigger spray painted on his house. LeBron James. Of course it's not a knock because it's not a being a thug or whatever is not a good thing.
And they told him just shut up and dribble. You're an athlete. Right. You shouldn't have to worry about any of this. And he got nigger spray painted on his house. So come on, this is the same LeBron who grew up in Northeast Ohio, Akron, Ohio, played basketball, was in the spotlight, and I'm very sure he dealt with people calling him some racist shit while going to some of these schools playing. People hollering on the court, talking crazy, man. But people don't people don't think this is like real. Like people don't think this is real life. Like this stuff really happens, but it doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen to you. So it just doesn't resonate with you. But like we're literally telling you, like this race should be out, really be happening in everyday life, and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. What's the fuck? The person doesn't have to be boisterous about it. They can be. It can be very subtle. Just little things. Be on some racist shit. You be looking like. That's why sometimes I'm like, damn, should I move to the suburbs? I don't know. Malcolm X did say, he was talking about people moving to the suburbs. He's like, nah, stay around your people. Shit. But that's how I be feeling sometimes. Sometimes, hey, the way I be talking sometimes, people probably forget that. Well, I even forget that I married a white girl. Shit.
Let me get into the comments. I'm gonna let that one breathe. Ms. Murray said, "My grandmother D said that on it about how not to be sold to a black person." It's plenty of places like that. I was in middle school and I read a book. I was reading a book like The History of Cleveland Heights or something, and it was a guy's journal. He stayed on Cedar, and he said he carved. He said every day I would take a bullet and I would carve the letter N on the bullet for the first nigger to walk up to come up the hill or whatever, as far as moving into Cleveland Heights. You know what I'm saying? That was a journal entry. It wasn't just a normal set. It was on old scrap paper, like a real journal entry.
And just think about
it. Crazy to me.
Those bullets, he was talking about your grandparents. You know what I mean? Your
literally my grandparents. You know what I'm saying? For sure. And so just reading that is just crazy to me, man. Ms. Murray said, as a certain number of blacks move in a city, the county lowers the property values, and then the taxes are lower, which means less money can go into the area, which means less city services. Yep, that's exactly how it happened. That's why census are allegedly supposed to be what balances that out. But I feel like it just identified how many black people are in the area, and then they like, well, we just definitely not putting money there. You know what I'm saying? Like we just never, it's a bunch of black people there, so it's no money that way. And then they just allow, right. So the property value is so low, they allow developers to come in and gentrify the area, and then force black people out, just how they did on like 105 down there by Cleveland Clinic and stuff. Like force people to be in those houses forever, force them out. Give them some money for their house, but nowhere near probably what they could have got if they wanted to stay in that house. You know what I'm saying, or prevented the city or Cleveland Clinic from doing whatever they wanted to do with that land. But yeah, force them out, put in medical students and doctors and stuff, and jack the prices way up. So now, if you, as a person that grew up on 90th, a couple streets away, wanted to move to like 105, like I don't want to take your finances, but you probably couldn't afford it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like doctors live there now. You know what I'm saying? Like medical personnel live there now.
On 105 and what?
In Quincy, that whole strip from 105 in Quincy down to the VA on 105 in Wade Park, I think that is. That whole strip.
I got to take a ride over there.
Like they redid the entire area. It's like not a freeway, but whatever. So sorry. So when they, they work on that, like the 55th exit, like about 490. And that's going to run all the way up towards like the free, like it's all going to connect. Like whenever they get done with it, that's all going to connect. And yes, that's all like area for medical students and stuff, like people that work at Cleveland Clinic and UH.
Damn, that's just minus like 105. Come on, man. Like you grew up over there. It wasn't no doctors and medical students living over there.
We was living over there. That's how I know there were no doctors over there. Like we were living over there before. Like Cleveland Clinic got this huge, nice emergency room now. Like I remember when it was like a shack. Like it was like the smallest building ever. Like, that was their emergency department. It was tiny. Right now, you got people from other countries coming in. You know what I'm saying, for medical service. Why you look around, man? Why you look so suspicious?
Yeah, nothing. I'm not that word.
Let me see. Ms. Murray said, Erica says I'm talking too much. I need to give somebody else a chance. Don't listen to her. That's not true. Don't listen to her. She said, what do they call a black rich man? Nigger.
I hate bringing up this. I hate bringing up this line. Like, I probably bring up this line every 5 shows.
Kanye?
Or Kanye's great. It's great, period. Nigga said, even if you in a Benz, you still a nigga in a coupe.
Yeah, even if you in a Benz. Look, Jay-Z said it in the OJ song. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, light nigga, dark, like, I don't want to piss off your parents, but light, dark, rich, poor, house, field, like it doesn't matter. Like you still a nigga at the end of the day. Like that's how they look at you. That's how society looks at people. You know what I'm saying? Like it just is, man. Your mom said it's the corridor. I don't know, not the Euclid corridor, of course, but I don't know what it's going to be called. But whatever the corridor is, she said it runs between 105 between Wade Park and Superior. Yeah, it's going to run like a good way. You should ride down there. It's nice, you know what I'm saying. But like normal people can't live there. Not normal people that live there for 1,000 years can't live there. No, can't do it.
Yeah, the property value is gonna go up, so they're gonna be forced to sell.
Of course.
The people that's that want to stay, they're gonna be forced to move out. Especially if they don't own, especially if the bank still own the house. Oh,
I know we started talking off about the white kid and stuff, and like I'm just like, what of the stuff that's been done to uh black people or whatever, like what's the I don't know. I like the thing that gets you the most upset, I guess. Like throughout history, what is it? Like what's the thing that gets you upset the most? And you guys watching too, I'm curious. Like, is there anything that happened in history that gets you upset? It doesn't necessarily have to be like racially, but like since we talk about race, if you got something, but like what pisses like when you think back, like what pisses you off the most?
It'll probably be slavery, especially when you see, these realistic movies like 12 Years a Slave and what's the other movie? Harriet and stuff like that, but especially 12 Years a Slave though. There's stuff like that that just get you, upset, because this used to really be acceptable. And really, and people really try to downplay what it really was when you try to express your concerns about it. But then you take that and you try to tell people that even when the slaves were set free, even when the country was desegregated, that we still don't feel equal. They don't understand why, even when you tell them the facts.
Yeah,
Get me upset. So.
So I think for mine for the longest I think was like Jim Crow era, like separate but equal. You know what I'm saying? Like why they giving us textbooks that's 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Um, like slavery is huge and stuff. Like, but I think I've been thinking lately, like this year specifically. I think the fact that they have been, like I mentioned earlier, like killing our leaders, right? So not just killing them. When I think about it, like you how you saying, like you can't make this stuff up. Like when I think about it, I can't help but laugh because like if somebody was to tell me this, I wouldn't believe it. Like I'm like this. Look, this I before I even say what my thing is. This is why I think white people have a hard time believing this stuff because they're like, how? Wait a minute, like come on now, how did that happen? You know what I'm saying? Like how do a group of people let that happen? How do like no way that happened? Like because even when I think about it, if somebody was to tell me like, all right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna kill all of their leaders, and then we're gonna plug our people in there as their leaders to lead them from within. But they're gonna think that they're their leaders. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we're gonna kill Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Fred Hampton. We're gonna kill them guys. We're gonna replace them with Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna replace it with informants and stuff that's and then when they get too old for the younger crowd, we're gonna replace them with Kanye West and Steve Harvey. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna control them. You know what I'm saying? With by killing their leaders and replace them with ones that's misleading us. That's the most insane thing to me, man. That pisses me off the most, I think. How you like? Al Sharpton was an informant.
Like, this is proof. Like this is facts. Michael Frank came out and said, like, yeah, I knew Al Sharpton real well. He was an informant. Gave the every detail. Like my man was an informant. Like, look, hey, what's hey, what's the boxing promoter? Don King. Don King, was not an informant, but Al Sharpton was. Like that shit is hard to it's hard to fathom that Don King, stood up under pressure, but Al Sharpton was an informant, man. Like, it's true. How is Man, niggas taking selfies, man. Shit funny.
Look, hey, and people hate Jay-Z. Why people hate Jay-Z so much, man? People,
The truth about the shit.
man, years in advance, and people hate Jay-Z. People think Jay-Z is hating on them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you take like Al Sharpton taking like selfies in the mirror. How is he supposed to help?
That was before it came out. That was before it came out that he was an informant.
That was years ago. Like that was like that news just broke. That was at least 3.5 years ago.
17, some shit like that. Something.
Yeah, it had to be like 17. Yeah, yep. Early, like spring of 2017. I guarantee. Like, and people hate hoes. Like they hate that, man. So Ms. Murray said, so what pisses her off the most is the fight to desegregate schools, thinking we were going to get a better education, when actually we dumbed down our kids. Yeah, anybody that grew up during that, like even like the Kamala Harris's, where it was like, you know, saying refusing to bus in black kids to better schools. Anybody that grew up in that, I really don't know how y'all are not like all psychopaths. Like how y'all not just killing people just left and right. Like I don't get it. I'm glad that y'all not. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know how y'all live through something like that. Like thinking about it pisses me off. So to live through it, like I can only imagine. Like my grandparents shouldn't be my grandparents. Like they should be like my lineage probably should have died because they, you know what I'm saying, they was Bonnie and Clyde, like, you know what I'm saying, just want to run, just killing people, you know what I'm saying? And of course I wouldn't have known, but I would have been like, yeah, well, sound like my grandparents, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Like, for people that live through that stuff, I definitely don't understand. Your mom said, what pisses her off the most is the senseless killing across the United States. Do you mean like everybody? Do you mean like senseless killings of black people by police? Do you mean black on black crime, whatever that is? Do you mean like just senseless killing, like school shootings before all this stuff happened? Like what part or all of it? And then Erica said for us to play our intro before y'all. Well, we definitely will. Erica, just stick with us. We got like 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll play it before we get out of here.
Ben thought it out.
Oh yeah. It's hot. I ain't gonna lie. And yeah. And if y'all got any favorite shows or whatever, man, we can always pop the clips up and put it at the beginning. Just let us know for sure. But that beginning part, we'll switch that around from time to time. But I feel like I hadn't seen like that show was a year ago. Last week, I think, and it was too funny not to add to everything that we're doing now, man, because it was just great. So your mom said killings by the law on black and brown people. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%. I think that probably would be number 2 for me. When you have to start putting people's names on T-shirts, you know what I'm saying? When you can type in something on Google and, you know, typically you buy like, you know, cop shot, you kind of describe it like cop shot, black guy, Wisconsin, or cop shot, or you know what I'm saying, black guy shooting Boston or whatever. Like, but now you can type stuff in like the killing or the murder of Eric Garner, you know what I'm saying? And like you will pop up with news stories and videos and stuff. You know, the killing of Philando Castile, you know what I'm saying? The killing of Alton Sterling. Like you know what I'm saying? Like when you start having so many damn names on this list, and then you watch a white counterpart do the exact same thing or something that's more egregious, and the same punishment is not bestowed upon them, it is like infuriating, and that is definitely my number 2. Like ever since 2016, which is like one of the best and worst years. Like
It most definitely ain't the worst.
They was averaging killing black people. Cops was averaging killing black people. They're like one a week. Like they was averaging for a while. Like the first half of the year, the numbers was crazy high. But then we won a championship in June, and kind of made me feel better.
But at the same time, it's not even necessarily killing some black people. Like the dude that just got off for shooting that guy in the hotel room. Hotel room in the hotel. There's another one for the hotel room, but I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about they was in the hotel hallway, and they both came out the room. He's like, "Put your hands down, put your hands up, put your hands behind your back."
Crawl to me, keep your hands up, and crawl to me. Like, get your hands up, get down on the ground. Like even that stuff pissed me off. Like, it ain't just about black people; it's about police brutality and police not being held accountable. But yeah, that guy was super white.
Yeah, they heard that he had a gun. He did not have a gun. He had something that resembled a gun, but it was for work because he was working. He just got off of work. It's like, I forgot what type of gun it was, whatever it was for work. Not a gun that you shoot people, but it could have been a cop gun. I don't know, but somebody said that he had a gun. So they come, they see he clearly, you can't see a gun. He's confused as to why y'all even got guns on him, and then y'all tell him 50 different directions.
You got three people yelling at you. What they expect?
Man, these niggas got great lawyers, man.
No, I think it's the union. I don't know for sure, but I think it's the union, the police unions. They're super, super strong. Which, excuse me, I don't know if Ashley's still in here. And she'll never speak about her job and stuff anyway, so I wouldn't want to put her on the spot. But the police union, man, that's what I feel like. You know what I'm saying? The New York City Police Union, like that guy is outlandish. The stuff he be saying, and I'm sure it's not like that at all of them, but that one specifically is kind of outrageous. So I agree with you with that one. I agree. Even the white guy that came to his door with a gun, they got killed by the police, like right at his doorstep or whatever, because the upstairs neighbor said that he heard like some domestic violence, fighting stuff. They really was just playing a video game. The cop came up and knocked, said police, and then walked away, like got out of the door for him. Dude came to the door with a gun because if it's late at night and somebody come knocking on your door, you might be, adept to do. And the cop that's looking at him, the cop that's facing him, doesn't shoot him. It's the cop that's behind him. Like, so another guy is shot in the back when he's trying to comply. When you say put the gun down and you do this, like you drop the gun and you go to raise your hands, you're squatting on the ground, trying not to get killed. And they kill you anyway on your doorstep, you know what I'm saying? Because they police, and then that's it.
But then you could be sleeping in your bed, and you wake up to loud noise, and sound like somebody rushing in your house, and of course you're gonna grab a gun and start shooting. Nobody announced themselves, right? Well, yeah, that's why, when that police chief said, it's systematically fucked up, it's instances like that. Of course, he's not going to speak out directly, like publicly. He'll tell you in private, but publicly, hell no, because he's not trying to lose his job, But they know. But like we say, not all, like you said, not all cops is like that. Cops can start off with good intentions, but
When the entire system bad, like it's just a matter of time. I feel like personally, like I feel like you can start off doing if you brand new starting at whatever job it is, you're doing anything, and the people that's doing that job that's training you, they're doing the job, the wrong way or dangerously, or I'm sure everybody started a job and they're like, well, this is the way I do it. This ain't the way you're supposed to do it, but this is the way that I do it. And if they're training you to do it the wrong way, and then when you take over, you will be doing it the wrong way because that's the way that you was trained to do.
Did I send you the video this week about the lady who got stopped and she was a federal officer? The black lady who got stopped, she was a federal officer. Did I tell you that video?
If it's the same one I'm thinking about, I seen it. Like, it's an older video, but I seen it. She was like, she's the district attorney.
No, not that one.
Okay.
District attorney, she was like, let me get your name. That one, it was
let me get y'all cards in one of these.
Okay, so it was this black lady. She used to be a deputy sheriff, but then she, started working federally, like at the airport or some or a courthouse or something. She said, but anyways, she got stopped and that was given.
No, you did. You did, yeah.
Now, damn, I do wish we could get some input on that because I want to know, does that happen? Because you are, Ashley is a woman of color. I got questions.
I can just say this, and I can attest to that because there's different levels. I can say it again. What you say?
I said, yeah, we can speak about you.
I can attest to how I'm treated by law enforcement when I'm in uniform is completely different than how I'm treated by law enforcement when I'm out of uniform.
Right.
When I'm in a position of power, as in when they come to my domain or whatever, where my rules supersede their city laws or county laws or whatever, it's a whole different ball of wax, like a whole different conversation than when I'm not in uniform. So much to the point where even in my wallet, I have my ID strategically set up to the point where you see, my driver license at the end. Like, so you see my, security licenses, you see my state employee ID, like you see all of the credentials before you actually see the driver license, in the hopes that a police officer will see that and treat me with the same level of respect that he treat Susan, or Sarah or Emily,
Right.
what I'm saying? Like the same respect and cautionary coolness that he would give to an elderly white woman, you know what I'm saying? Like, which is absurd to even think that way, to even have to prepare for situations like that, you know what I'm saying, where like this could be the encounter. And I want to make sure that they see that I'm one of them, you know what I'm saying, before they even see that I'm legally allowed to drive. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an absurd thing that I shouldn't have to do, that anybody shouldn't have to do, that woman shouldn't have went through. It's absurd that black parents teach their kids about fearing the police, opposed to where white families would teach their kids, like, all right, follow the law, of course, but don't let nobody take your rights from you. And, saying, like, you don't have to follow this rule because, your constitutional God-given right is this, this, and this. And black people, like, look, just make it home. Shaq tell his kids, like, just make it home. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Like just make it home. It's absurd, man. It's very absurd.
Well, we thank y'all once again for tuning in to our show, whether happy, sad, positive, negative, never negative. So, we thank y'all for tuning in. Shit, that's all I got to say. Next week, we got a show. Week after that, we don't got a show. Week after that, we got a show. So be sure to tune in to that, especially at the end of the month. But thank y'all for rocking with us. Remember to own your own. Stay safe. Make it home.
Hey, by the way, earlier in the show, your mom asked if you had a copyright on your saying. Clearly, if I'm wearing the shirt, then he do not. So I don't want to hear none. I don't want to hear none of that. Talk to my lawyer stuff.
Hey, I should, but On your own. You know how they they do it. It's just words, you know. Doesn't that ain't gonna make it.
Well, that's cool. Hey, but like B said, man, thanks for joining us as always. We appreciate y'all joining the conversation. We went all around the world with this one. It was kind of like one of our old school shows where we talk about a little bit of everything and start on one subject and go to another. But y'all ride with us the whole time, so I definitely appreciate it. Ms. Murray said, "Tell my child Ashley to make it home by any means I tell my child Ashley to make it home by any means necessary." I get it, and that's good advice. I completely agree for sure. I thought you wanted to say something.
No, I just said as she should, you know.
Oh, for sure. So, like he said, man, be safe out there. Be sure to tune in so y'all know when we won't be having a show, when we will be having a show. Ms. Murray, go back and watch our financial show last week. It was really, really good. You can learn something, finances at any level of where you're at financially. Something for everybody, so definitely go back and rewatch. We appreciate y'all, man. That's all I can say, and hopefully y'all not down too much. We're gonna end on our dope intro, our professionally spoken voice actor intro. It's pretty dope if I do say so myself. So with that being said, remember to own your own. And as always, salute to the city. And I'm looking forward to seeing y'all Wednesday for politics and next Sunday right here. This is a terrible co-host. All right, y'all. We out.
Like
I said, the cookie was the only thing that got me because it was warm. Like, it was a warm, soft cookie.
Raw.
Oh no, wait. What did you want to say?
I said, I already gave the segue to nigga. I'm done talking. Limit. I said, on your own. You said salute to the city. Did you even say that?
Yeah, I said it.
Then it was a wrap.
All right, man. We out of here. We'll see y'all next week. And then, like I said, the cookie was the only thing that got me because it was warm. Like, it was a warm, soft cookie. You know what I'm saying? Now who are y'all gonna turn down warm, soft cookie? And then, like I said, the cookie was the only thing that got me because it was warm. Like, it was a warm, soft cookie. You know what I'm saying? Now who are y'all gonna turn down warm, soft cookie in any form? I'll just leave it open. In any form, whatever that means to you, it's always hard to turn down warm, soft cookie, man. It just is. I don't care who you are.
You are about to experience the result of hard work and dedication from the City of Champions, Cleveland's own, 90th's finest. Self-made, hard-working entrepreneurs, unequivocally raw, no holds barred. This is Epiphany Media.